Well, it has been an absolute week. Hello, my name is Grace. I wanted to come on and kind of give an update of what's been happening the last 2 weeks. I've been posting sporadically. It's been a little bit hectic lately. So probably about 2 Wednesdays ago, I woke up and I've been having cramping in the lead up, a week-long lead up to this time. And I was like, Lord, I don't want to do a 6-week scan. I just don't feel right with the technology, and I'm not super convinced that the outcomes actually improve, except in like a very small minority of cases. So I was like, I don't want to do the 6-week scan. Maybe I might do the 20-week morphology, but that's about it. But if I am bleeding and cramping, and if I have concerns around that, I'll go in. And so I woke up and I was bleeding, and I've been cramping in the week in the lead up. So I was like, all right, this is my sign. So I called 13 Health, and they recommended that I go see my doctor within the next 4 hours, or then I go into the early pregnancy assessment unit at my local hospital. And called in, there was no doctors available, and the only doctors that were available were male doctors. And kudos to males. I don't know, I just didn't feel comfortable with that. So I was like, well, I'll call the early pregnancy assessment unit. But they wouldn't see me without a referral. And my doctor was on the cusp of giving me my hospital referral, but I hadn't actually gotten it yet. So I couldn't go see them unless I went to the ER. And I was like, well, I don't think it's bad enough to go to the ER. So I'll see if I can book in a non-normal GP, which there was one free nearby, which was great. So there was one nearby that I went and saw, and I was like, if she offers me an ultrasound, I'll take it. I was so in tune at this time of it. I was really at peace with it. If she offers me an ultrasound, I'll take it. If she doesn't, that's okay as well. And of course, she was like, go get an emergency ultrasound. I was about 5 weeks and 6 days. And so I went and got the ultrasound at 3 p.m. that afternoon. And they could see a sac, they could see a yolk, but they couldn't see a baby. And that was devastating to me, of course. As you can imagine, it was quite devastating. And so I really fell out of sorts. I spent a lot of time crying on my bed, spent a lot of time mourning the kind of dream that I'd had. Because 19 months is a pretty good split between kids. And yeah, I really struggled as a result, which surprised me because the baby was not unwanted, but a surprise. It's kind of a lot. And so I really mourned that. I really fell out of sorts with my eating, my exercise, just fell into greater and greater exhaustion. First trimester nausea fueled by eating junk food, fueled by not sleeping well, all kind of compounded into kind of like a little semi-depressive state. And yeah, we really hung in limbo for the next 2 weeks. My HCG levels were rising, but they can continue to rise until later in the pregnancy when the miscarriage naturally takes effect. And so we were waiting for, because it was still too early to tell, we were waiting for another 2 weeks for the next ultrasound, but the Tuesday before then, so that was to be on the Wednesday, but they only had availability on the Thursday. But the Tuesday beforehand, I woke up and there was lots of blood, and an unusual amount of blood. And my doctor had said, because I had days of bleeding as well between then, my doctor was like, if you bleed again, you go to the ER. And I was like, oh, flip. So we went to the ER. We arrived at about 11. We were there for 13 hours. They thought it was an infection because I had an elevated white cell count, but then they ran more tests and there was no infection. They couldn't see anything on the bedside ultrasound, but they thought that they could maybe see a baby and a heartbeat. And so it was like this tentative hope, but not 100% sure. And so for the last 2 days, we've been waiting for the ultrasound today. And today, for the first time, we saw our next little kid. And yeah, that was a lot, because it was like, oh dang, not only do I have to heal from everything that now it's serious. Now I have to really be intentional about healing from everything that happened with the last birth. And we have a kid on our hands, and of course, like, oh, you didn't hit 12 weeks yet, like it doesn't really count. And you know, people pass at every stage of life, but there's actually a kid there. And so it's like 1.5 centimeters, heart beating at 155 BPM, just like going right for it. And so that was really cool. I don't think I'm going to have any other ultrasounds for the rest of the pregnancy though, because oh my goodness, the poor kid's probably fried like a potato chip after having 4 ultrasounds before 8 weeks. But yeah, that was super interesting, because throughout it all, like, I was really close to it's definitely done something, I don't know, with my relationship with God, because I was before the first bleed, like first lot of bleeding, like I was really on the discipline about reading my Bible, and like we've got to be really intentional with this pregnancy about the spiritual nature of it. And then I fell off the bandwagon in all of my depressive episodes. And now it's like, oh, praise God. But where do we start again? And so I've got a lot of listening to do with podcasts. I've got a lot of reading to do in my Bible and all the various books that I need for birth. And here we go. It begins. I'm so excited for our little September baby. Thanks for joining. Grace and peace to you.